morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you see this. This is Steve with INFPuberty Insights. Trying to do a bunch of videos today since it's going to be nice. 89 for high. Record high is 91. We're supposed to be in the 70s. So I'm going to try to sit out in the sun this morning for a little bit and do several videos. So today I'm going to talk about puberty, INFPuberty, and being traumatic. So I'm not going to finish my autobiography. If you've watched the first 2 episodes, I'm not going to finish that. I've decided I don't want to divulge anything, and it's coming across as sugar-coated. My growing up was a lot more hellacious than I am depicting it. So with authenticity, I'm not. But today, this is what we're doing. Puberty, INFPuberty. I don't know about the rest of it. That was the worst part of my whole life so far. I'm in my 70s, so far that's been about the worst part of my life. I just know it from the female standpoint. So if you're a male, you can say what happened if you want to comment below. Females too, but I don't know anything about males. But I know what happened was, and a lot of you know, that I was into sports, and I grew up with guys, and I was just one of the guys, very athletic, and I actually wanted to be a professional basketball player, but that wasn't in my future because girls didn't do that. They didn't have a WNBA back then. I will say, congrats, Lady Tigers, LSU, yay, you won the national championship. You didn't get as much press as UConn. You never do. But anyway, I'll talk about difference and gender later. But anyway, yeah. So I did that, and I was buddies, and then puberty hit, and I got into junior high. And I went from, over the summer, I went from being 90 pounds, 5'5" and 90 pounds, to being the same 5'5" and 125 pounds. And so I got fat over that summer. With puberty in junior high, I got oily skin. I had to wash my face 3 or 4 times a day. That was not available to me in school, so oil just dripped down my face. And all the guys stopped being my friends because they got interested in the girls with the fake boobs, quite frankly. Back in my day, they just stuffed it with Kleenex, stuffed the bras with Kleenex and that kind of thing to make themselves attractive. So I was kind of alone. I just got kind of pushed. And it was really, really hard. And my mother gave me her one little piece of advice. I never had a working relationship or emotional relationship or any kind of relationship except adversarial with my mom. But she told me that boys like 2 kinds of girls. 1, the pretty ones, and 2, those with a good personality. And her advice to me was to work on my personality. As if I didn't feel bad enough about the way I looked, being a bull moose. That's what I felt like. Over the summer, I just gained like 30 pounds. Fat. I hated every minute of that. And nobody to talk to. Nobody to play with. Yeah. So all the girls were interested in the guys. The guys were interested in the girls. I wasn't interested in any of that. I didn't understand any of it. I didn't understand, just quite frankly, TMI here probably, but the menstrual cycle. I just thought you did that when you were an adult. And I thought you did that all the time. I didn't know anything about cycles, and nobody explained anything to me. We had a health class in 8th grade. Was it 8th grade? Yeah, 8th grade we did have a health class that was like very superficial. didn't help anybody, I don't think. So yeah, that was kind of horrible to have to go through that, to know that why wasn't I interested? I wasn't interested in romancy things. I mean, the guys were people I played with, had played sports with, I grew up with. That just seemed weird. I wasn't that interested. So I was to myself, I got real depressed, and I spent my high school age, being depressed. Then, because I was fat, I felt ugly, and I stopped playing sports. Girls stopped playing sports then, so there was no sports for me at all. I couldn't go into a boys' league, and girls' leagues just dried up when they reached puberty. Not to mention it hurt. I will say there's one state out west here in the United States. They have, just mentioned it, a little political, they have banned, or not put in the budget, or banned, schools have given girls access to free tampons when the period starts at school. Well, most of these must be men or women who have never menstruated or never had that happen, but that is the worst thing. Your body is doing all kinds of weird stuff and fluids every which way that you can't control whenever it decides to do. Because back then nobody explained anything. There was no Google, there wasn't anything in the library about it. I tried to look all that up. So I got very depressed. I got anorexic. By the time I was 15, 16, I believe I was anorexic, because I went down to 110 pounds. All my mother would say to me was I looked like I had TB, tuberculosis, because my rib cage stuck out so much. Not that she cared. Nobody seemed to care. They didn't. I mean, I just grew up in a town where I don't know about other people, but nobody cared about me. I don't know, just the way we grew up. You just fended for yourself, figured everything out yourself. So yeah, so I was kind of stuck, and then I felt pressured into dating. I always thought it would be nice. I think that's the INFP in me. I always thought it would be really nice to have more than 2 genders. Well, as a teenager, I thought about that. Because, you're not supposed to be interested in girls. I didn't even know what that was now. Even what that was. I just knew I didn't see it anywhere, so I guess you weren't supposed to be doing that. But the guys weren't that interested. I just wasn't interested. I just wanted to play ball. I still wanted to play ball. So yeah. And I thought about that too after I got divorced. Wouldn't it be nice if there were more than 2 genders? Any of you ever think about that? What do you think? Give it a like. If you don't want to comment, just give me a like. If you relate to any of this, you got anything to say about any of this? Am I just totally weird? But I thought it would be so great to have more to choose from. Why don't we have more to choose from? An alien would be good. Let's send an alien. Whatever. Why do we have just 2 genders? Why do we have just 2 genders? We have Baskin Robbins has 30-some flavors of ice cream. Why do we have just 2 genders? So that came to my mind. Then later on, when I was in high school, I heard the big news was about Renee, I think her name was Renee Richards, transgender tennis player. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is throwing a kink. And I thought, well, that may be an option. I actually thought about that. That would be my gateway. I thought about that for a long time, actually. That would be my gateway to be able to play sports. I'm thinking possibilities, and has nothing to do with sex, has nothing to do with attraction to one gender or another, or who am I or not, or dysphoria. I probably have gender identity dysphoria. Somewhere somebody's given me that as in my teenage years. I don't think it was that. I'm just exploring my options. I got to reach my goal. So I thought, well, here's somebody that did that. And that was a big to-do because, you know, it was male to female, and I had never heard of anything like that. So I spent my time in bed at night in high school before I went to bed, sleep, thinking about that. And I thought, could I do that? Is that me? Is that what the problem is? Is that what the issue is? I thought it would be really nice not to ever have a menstrual cycle again, because I had a really tough time. I had a really, really tough time, medically speaking. Nobody did anything. Nobody knew anything way back then. You just suffered. So I could have done without that. You know, I could totally have done without that. So, yeah, I did a lot of thinking about that. And then I thought, well, no. The actual thing that turned me against it was that, no, I'm not transgender, and no, I can't do that, because I don't think I could go into the boys' bathroom. that was the that was the thing. Yep. No, I don't think I could go use the boys' bathroom. Back then there were no family or gender neutral bathrooms. They didn't have any of that. So I threw that away, but that was just my gateway to be able to play sports and maybe fit in. So I don't know. I think I'm halfway rambling. I don't think I'm rambling. I'm just telling you about me. But this is traumatic. This is my most traumatic, and I've been through several trauma events in my life. But this puberty has got to be the most traumatic thing in my life. Maybe it's my generation. I think some people are going to say, who are younger, that it is generational. It is just me, because everything's out there now. Everything's talked about. But I do believe there are people out there who don't have access to all this information, who don't have people to talk to. And that's who I'm talking to. If nobody resonates with this, there'll be 1 or 2 people at least out there that will resonate with this, that don't have people to talk to and don't know where to turn. You're not alone. If you have problems, whether you're an INFP or not, if you're just growing up, you have alone. That's why, one of the reasons why, and I said in another video, I have attempted to take my life several times as a teenager. It got that bad. Didn't fit in, didn't have friends, I'm just not into things other people are into. If I was coming along today, I would have more options. At least people are talking about it. It's in the news, and the laws, they're making laws. But way back then, nope. I do think a lot of people think about it, but they haven't said anything about it. But I am glad I'm still around, if for no other reason. Well, I'm glad I'm still around for a lot of reasons. My kids are the number one thing. I am glad I stuck around for that, and I had a great career. I stuck around for that. I am glad. And now I'm hoping to maybe shed some light on things that aren't really talked about. So comment below. If you can't comment below, just give me a like. Let me know you're here. And know that you're not alone. I would like to know the male version. I understand that they have a lot. It just seems like males have it easy. I don't know. I've understood over the years they don't. I've got grandsons coming along, going through all that. One in particular, I think he's really moody, but my daughter says, well, it's just hormones. But I think it's more than that. I see through it because I went through it. He's having a hard time. I don't know what that hard time really is, but because we're 2 different genders. But anyway, I don't even know what time it is I am, but I'm outside today. This will be on a walk and talk. Share, comment, subscribe. I'd rather have your likes and comments more than the subscriptions. I have all of it. Love it. It's going to be in the walk and talk playlist. Enjoy your time. For your own spring break, enjoy it. This is my spring break. It's going to be cold again next week. We have all seasons in 1 week here where I am. We've been doing this for 2023. then tornado season's coming up, and then hurricane season, so it's going to be interesting. So I do care about you. Hope you enjoyed any of this. Until next time, stay safe.